Okay, so my sophomore year of high school, aka last year, I literally had this like stupid obsession with making money and like stocks and business and entrepreneurship. So naturally, I decided to start a business club. So like I was definitely skeptical about starting the club because like obviously I didn't know if it was going to do well. But then I started like asking around and like surprisingly a lot of people in the school wanted to go into business, even if they wanted to be doctors like too, like they wanted to be like have a business on the side or something like that, which is like what I want to do. So I was like, jackpot, like literally, like this is a perfect idea to start a club because, like people want to do it, there's definitely the interest. So I got a petition, and in the first week, I got over 40 signatures of students saying that if the club were started, that they would join. Okay, maybe 10 of them were like my friends who just signed it because I begged them to, but the other 30 were really interested. Anyway, after that, I got an advisor, got it approved by the principal, and bam, the club was born. So here are the top 3 things I learned from starting this club. So the first thing I learned from starting this club was to always have a plan before doing anything. Like in the beginning stages of the club, I would always make the mistake of going into things without having done research or even having a plan of what we were going to do as a club. So I took a step back, evaluated what I was doing, and made an in depth plan of what we were going to do as a club. Basically, I decided the club was going to have 3 components: a mock business, guest speakers, and an end of the year trip. But I realized pretty quickly after making this plan that this isn't a one man job. I needed a board of other students who were invested in the club to help me manage all these tasks, which brings me to my next point: having a team. The next thing I learned from starting this club was that I needed a team of other students to help me run the club. So I pretty much made my friend group at the time my board, which was kind of a mistake, but more on that later. So the main thing that we did as a club was run a mock business where we sold like snacks and candy and like drinks and stuff like that. And believe me when I say that this business went crazy. I mean, it was booming all year. Like high schoolers are literal fiends for snacks. Like you don't understand. So, with the help of my board, we organized the schedule for the students in the club to sell to the other students during classes. And it was so dumb because we literally weren't allowed to sell at lunchtime because of some like policy or something like that, cuz like they didn't want students to like not buy lunch and like buy from us instead. So like we weren't allowed to sell at lunch, which we literally would have made so much more money if we sold at lunch, but whatever. So like we were allowed to sell during classes, which sounds even dumber, but whatever. We were allowed to like teachers were allowed to like stop the class for 2 to 3 minutes for us to come in and like sell because like we labeled it a fundraiser, so like like we were allowed to do that, so yeah. And I mean the people in the club really enjoyed selling snacks because like you get to handle like money and stuff like that, which is pretty fun. But like despite the whole lunch thing, we were averaging around $500 profit each week that we sold, which was like epic at the time because I this was my first time like starting any sort of like business or like selling stuff at school, and the fact that we did that much each week was like super crazy to me. Like I was super happy with that. But like overall, the main reason the school allowed us to sell during classes or sell like in general was because we labeled it a fundraiser, which was because we ended up donating the money to Ukraine, which was also super swaggy. But none of that would have been possible if I didn't have a board to help me organize the whole thing. So yeah, board. And to be honest, it's super easy to get board members because like high school students are like literally thirsty for leadership positions because obviously like it looks better on your college resume. You could be like, how would you like to be the vice president of a club that's donating over $1,000 to charity? Watch how fast they say yes. All right, the next thing I learned is to always involve everyone. I know that sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people fail at this. The thing is, like, no one wants to be in a club where they don't feel needed. Even if there's some like busy work task that needs to be done within the club, always try to ask someone else to do it so that they feel like, they're contributing to the club. This is a big one because it's like the main way to get people to stay in a club. If this is done correctly, you'll have committed members all year long. This was definitely something I lacked in last year. Like I would try to do everything myself and it made it seem like I didn't need anyone else. But that's definitely something I plan to change this year with the club. The last thing I want to mention in this video that I learned from starting the club is to always put club members first. The thing was, I came into this with the mindset of like, oh, this would look so good on my resume. Like, oh, how cool would it be to be the president of a club? Me, 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 me. But like, I didn't stop to think, how could this club benefit other people? And it wasn't until I shifted my mindset to like, oh, how could I make this club benefit other students that I truly saw success with the club. So that's all I'm gonna mention about the club for this video. I literally have so much more to say about this club. Like, I have so many stories about shenanigans and stuff like that that went down last year, but that's for another video. Also, I have so many plans for the club next year, aka my junior year, like that it's super exciting, but also another video. But if you enjoyed, if you got any value from this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.